Hello, in this video I want to share with you some useful tips for new players. I think it will help them a bit. It's normal that when you start playing a new game, you don't understand some mechanics or don't know how something works. Albion, in my opinion, is one of the most complicated games, so it's very good to know what to do and what not to do. Tip number 1. Every time you are going to do some solo dungeons in yellow or red zones maps, always be flagged up for your town. Why? Because it's easy extra silver while farming solo dungeons. When you will kill mobs in dungeons, you will gain faction points, which you can exchange for faction hearts or faction crests. So don't forget about that, because you will miss some nice extra silver. Now, you can't die in yellow zone while you are flagged, so it's 100% safe, but when it comes to red zone, you can die, so be careful. Price for one faction heart is about 50k, so for the new player that can be some nice silver. The more dungeons you will do while flagged up, the more silver you will earn, so don't forget about that. Tip number 2. Don't use your free 3-day premium at the start. In my opinion, you should use it when you will have more time for the game and you will start doing, for example, some group dungeons with your guild. Why is that? Because then you will use it more effective than if you'd use it immediately at the beginning, without knowing how to use it properly. Tip number 3. Gear that you are wearing. I often see some new players with low total fame in some masterpieces gears. It's unnecessary to wear that much pricey gear when you are not experienced at all, and you don't have much silver to spend on items. If you want to buy some good gear as a new player, you can easily buy some nice gear without spending thousands of silver. For example, even 6.0 gear without cape, which will cost you like 50k, will be much better than some tier 5 masterpieces items. When it comes to capes, masterpieces capes are even more useless than other masterpiece items. You don't need masterpiece capes at all. So, if you're new and you don't have any experience or you don't have much silver, it's better for you to buy some usual gear with normal quality. Tip number 4 is checking the prices of the items you want to buy. For example, 4.2 items can be a lot cheaper than 5.1 or 6.0. 4.2 items have the same amount of IP like 6.0, so it's way better to pay less silver if you have option like that. Not every time lower tier items will be cheaper, but it's always very good to check every tier and see if you can spend less silver. Tip number 5. Mounts. I often see that new players buy some tier 4 or tier 5 riding horses. In my opinion, for new player it isn't necessary. Tier 3 riding horse is everything you will need at the beginning of your adventure. I use tier 3 riding horse even by myself, because the difference in capacity and speed isn't that big. When you are new in the game, you will probably die in open world many times, so if you will use tier 3 riding horse instead of tier 4 or tier 5, you will save some silver. Tier 3 riding horse costs like 10k, tier 4 20k and tier 5 50k, so for new player it can be some nice silver that you can save. Tip number 6. Using tier 6 fish instead of cabbage soup. You can ask why. Because it is cheaper and they are not very different. They both have actually the same percentage of health regeneration, so if you are fame farming solo dungeons a lot or you use regen food in Corrupted as a new player, you can save some extra silver on it. Tip number 7. You may know it earlier, but I will mention that in this video. Don't forget to leave items that you are not using in the bank at the city. It's important too that the items you will left in the bank in, for example, Martlock, won't be in the bank in Thetford. Every town have its own bank. Some players are carrying all of their items with them, which isn't too clever. In case of that, you will lose everything you got, which discourages players from continuing to play. It's important to mention that when you die, you don't lose your silver. Tip number 8. Join some guild. Guild will help you at the start of your gameplay. You will meet some more experienced players, with whom you can learn something. But there is one very important thing. you need to check if guild you're going to join have 0% fee, so you won't need to give them any of your silver. That's all in this video. I hope you liked it. If you got any thoughts after the video or any questions, don't be afraid to leave them in the comments. Don't forget to leave a like and a subscription to don't miss next videos. That's all from me. Bye.